You saw someone. Maybe you never even spoke, but something inside of you broke loose. The mind fell silent, the heart spoke. You didn't know their name, you didn't know their past, but it felt as if they had always been within you. And then you began to ask, did I choose them, or did they find me? Or was this a meeting written long before? It is right here that one of the most hidden doors of Sufism begins to open. Love. But this love is not emotional. It is destined. This is the gate of Tasawwuf. If you have ever loved someone without knowing why, and that love flowed into you as if it was never yours to begin with, then subscribe now. Because this journey is written for those who seek the true owner of love. According to Ibn Arabi, love is the deepest secret between the human being and Allah, and this secret reveals itself within man. You may love someone, but that love does not belong to you. It is an attraction that Allah has reflected in you, and the direction of that pull was determined long before your will. Ibn Arabi says, "The lover is not in love with the beloved, but with the truth that manifests within them." When you love someone, in their face, their words, their voice, their very being, you find a reality that does not belong to you, and it pulls you. You call that pull love, but in truth, it is only a sign pointing you back to Him. So, is love a choice, or is it destiny? Ibn Arabi says love is written. You do not choose it, you simply fall into it. Because love is something you fall into. You cannot climb out, you cannot fully explain it, but it transforms you. And that transformation never ends with the other person. It carries you inward, toward yourself, and then beyond yourself, toward Him. So why did you love not just anyone, but precisely that one person? Because within them, a name written for you began to shine. The attribute inscribed in your soul resonated in them, and you recognized it. In truth, you did not recognize the person, you recognized a light burning within yourself. Ibn Arabi says, "Love is the fire that dissolves the self, and it does not work until it melts your will." That is why you no longer know why you love, why you cannot let go, why your heart beats differently when you see them. Because you don't need to know. You simply burn. And that burning does not carry you to yourself, it carries you to Him. This is why, in Tasawwuf, love is a state of purification. To love is not to possess, it is to be ready to let go. Because if what you love in that person is the truth of Allah, then that truth already belongs to Him. And your task is not to want to own it, but to recognize it. But modern humanity mistakes love for attachment. We say, "You are mine, I belong to you." Yet in Ibn Arabi's love, no one belongs to anyone, because every person is only a manifestation. What you love is never the person themselves, it is the divine image appearing within them, and you do not choose that image. So let us ask again, is loving someone a way of drawing nearer to Allah? If that love strips you of your ego, yes. If that love makes you more patient, more merciful, more compassionate, yes. If that love brings you closer to Allah, yes. But if that love makes you jealous, destructive, and consuming, then that is not love. That is the voice of the nafs. Ibn Arabi says, "True love accepts separation." Because that separation is not the door to losing oneself, but the door to union within Him. Your prayer should not be, "Unite me with them." Your prayer should be, "Let my being be drawn to you through that connection." Because that person is a path, a station, a mirror, and sometimes they only pass through. But if you saw them during that passing, then you have already reached the secret of love. Why is love so powerful? Why does it shake the heart? Why does it break a person? Because love is the gate between being and non-being. The moment you step through it, you no longer exist as you were. And at the same time, for the very first time, you truly are. This paradox can only be resolved by truth. So love is not a contradiction. It is the shore of a reality. If love destroys you, a new you is born from those ruins, and that born self is no longer the old you. Ibn Arabi calls this moment of rupture the awakening of divine love. You are no longer merely in love with someone. Through love you have touched what is beyond them. But here a great secret begins. Love sometimes is completed not by union, but by separation. Because love is a fire that annihilates, not something that glorifies. And this annihilation comes with pain, with longing, burning through your inside. But it wakes you to the real. You learn to wait, to be patient, to hold a silence and say simply, "Whatever happens, I am complete with what I saw in them." Ibn Arabi says, "The lover, when they lose the beloved, realizes they have drawn nearer to the truth behind them." Human love by itself is not precious, but if that love carries you into divine awareness, then that love becomes worship. You are completed not in the beloved, but through the reality that the beloved reflected. How does this happen? Imagine you love someone and they do not want you, or it never works out. Paths, hearts, destinies do not align, but your love does not fade. Instead, it deepens and is purified. That is the echo of divine, not merely human love. Because you no longer want to possess, you want to understand your existence. Ibn Arabi has a striking phrase. Love begins with form, but if it remains on the level of form, it is failure. Love that passes beyond form finds meaning, and in that meaning sees Allah. When you love, at first you love the face, the voice, the manner. But if you remain stuck on the form, the ego begins. You grow jealous, you possess, you destroy. If you move past the form toward the meaning shining within it, even if a lifetime burns, your heart will never stop calling that name. Why does love sometimes grow more in separation? Because union can end love, while separation can keep love alive. Love is not reciprocal, it is a reflection. You may love someone who does not love you back, but because you perceive the truth in them, you love. This is not about them, it is about you, about your destiny, your heart. Here, destiny comes into play. Love is not coincidence. Love is a remembering. You see in that person what is already written in you, and that calls you. You are drawn not to them, but to what in them draws you to Allah. Therefore, love changes you. You are no longer the same person. You do not look the same. You do not speak the same way. You do not pray the same way. You were written by love, shaken by love, and now you carry love. In Ibn Arabi's understanding of love, there is one aim. Love should make you cease being merely yourself, but it should not annihilate you for nothing. It should lead you to, it must not destroy you. It must open you to Allah. This love sometimes comes through a person, sometimes a child, sometimes a friend. But however it arrives, you must recognize it. Every love is a teacher, and even if the teacher leaves, the lesson remains in you. So is love a test? Number. Love is a mystery. You cannot solve it, but you are unraveled by it. It teaches you, it shakes you. Sometimes it strips you bare, but in the end it leaves you with a heart that is prepared. Now ask yourself, did I truly love, or did I want to possess? Did I seek Allah in their eyes, or did I fixate on their eyes and forget Him? These are the questions that make love what it truly is, and whoever asks them has already entered the reality of love. Ibn Arabi says, "The lover's prayer is not to ask for the beloved. The lover's prayer is to see the truth in the beloved." Whoever reaches that prayer will not rejoice at any meeting nor be shaken by any separation, because in their heart love does not stay with a person. Love stays with the reality. If love has burned you, do not flee. According to Ibn Arabi, this fire is not meant to consume you, but to purify you. That love is completed not by union, but by burning. Every true love turns into a longing, and this longing is closer to Allah than a formal prayer. If you love someone, and that love transforms you, then that person is a mirror Allah has held up to you. In that mirror you see yourself, your faults, your expectations, your weaknesses, but perhaps, for the first time, you also see your depth, and that recognition leads you to the truth. Ibn Arabi says, "Those who burn in love draw near to the truth, because that burning is the collapse of the self. Your desires, dreams, plans, they all are consumed in the flame of love, and what remains is the heart, pure, bare, surrendered. Then you cannot pray in the old way, because you no longer have words to offer. You only whisper, 'Let it be as it is, for I am now other than I was.' Love takes you to a place where loving someone without them is incomplete, but loving the image of them, the reflection of the divine within them, is plenitude. You no longer love the person. You love the light manifesting in them, and that light shines everywhere, in a street, in a book, in a glance, in a line of speech, because you have learned to love, and to love is to recognize. Does love truly bring one closer to Allah? Yes, but only when that love is the heart's prostration, not the naf's cry. How you love is as important as whom you love. Do you see them as a thing to possess or as a mystery to honor? Do you want to own them or to lose yourself in them? Love is not for the person who says, "You are mine." It belongs to the one who says, "Through you, I reflected the truth." So, Ibn Arabi says, true love is not to love a person, but to love the infinity that shines through them. You see something in them that matches nothing else, seeming older than you, beyond you, yet also belonging to you. That is a name your soul remembers. Love is written as the remembering of that name. Now, do you understand? Did you choose them? Number, it was written long before. You only passed through that writing and saw yourself reflected in it. Whether that person loves you back or not, whether you end up together or not, the only thing that matters is this: did you see Allah in that love, and did you draw a little closer to Him? Because love is not a result, it is a direction. When you turn toward it, the journey does not end, it begins. The person you loved is no longer yours, but you are now on their path. And that path, broken, incomplete, wounded though it may be, is the firmest path of all, because it begins with one person and stretches toward infinity. Finally, in Ibn Arabi's words, love is a mirror. You see yourself there. Then one day you lay the mirror down and begin to love what the mirror reflected. At that moment you do not reach the beloved, you reach the beloved.